Update on the Mercedes. So this is our 2009 Mercedes with 159,000 miles on that we bought from a subscriber, knowing that there's an engine management light popping up on it every now and then. Last time I test drove it, it felt like it was in limp mode. I've driven it again since. Definitely hasn't got the performance it should. We went into the codes and read them, and it had one for the MAF, for the mass airflow sensor, and one for the DPF, and we think we've got a blocked DPF. I disconnected the MAF and drove the car. Made no difference to the performance. So I think we need to solve this DPF problem. So what we're going to do is try and do a forced regen in the car park here. I always forget I should explain things a bit more, shouldn't I? So for those of you who don't know, diesel cars, most diesel cars have a diesel particulate filter that captures all the nastiness from your diesel in the exhaust system, and then when you're on the motorway doing 60-70 mile an hour and the engine gets hot, it goes into DPF regen mode where it burns off all of that crud, sends it out the back of the exhaust into the environment, just at a different time, and keeps the system cleared out. Now, if you do short journeys, you don't have the opportunity to get it up to the temperature, or your mileage just gets higher like this, then that DPF gradually becomes more clogged, more clogged, more clogged. They do get to a point where you have to replace them, but sometimes you can take them off the car, stand them up on end, fill them full of DPF cleaner, and do it that way. I think sometimes you can come in for a sensor as well and fill the system up with DPF cleaner and let it sit over a couple of days, then start it up and it'll clear out that way. I think the most effective is to turn it on end and fill it up. If none of that works, you have to buy a new DPF, which is expensive. But if it's simply a case the car's not had a chance to do a DPF regen, then sometimes you do what's called a static DPF regen, where you plug the computer in and tell the car to do a DPF regeneration while it's sat there. It's not the greatest thing in the world, because the car has to sit there running for quite a while and get quite hot before it'll do it, and then it'll start doing it in the car park here. So that's why I've chosen to do it on a Saturday when I'm not going to be disturbing anybody else. So we've got our Topdon BT 800 or 800 BT to try and do this. So we're going to do basically do, I think it's maintenance and service. There we go. EGR DPF. Hit that. Let's see what it's got to say about that. Let's put it up here. Regeneration of diesel particulate while driving. So it does want me to drive it. Okay. Yes. So Topdon's telling me that the filter is 400% full. Won't tell me the amount of times it's tried to do a regen. No. Sometimes it tells you how many times it's tried to do a regen as well. Now, as normal, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing here. I've met all the prerequisites for a reset, and it says it's not doing it because the conditions have been met. Okay. So I don't think I met one of the conditions for doing a regen, possibly. I need to find out what that was. I've tried several times now with the Topdon, and I just can't get it to work. It gets to the very final stage where it wants me to drive off, and then it says that it's failed. So I'm not sure whether that's, I think I've got slightly less fuel than it asked for, but it's let me go past the next steps to do the regen. So I don't know. I've heard these Mercedes ones are finicky as well. So you experts, hop in the comments and let me know. Right, I've bailed on the Mercedes, and I'll tell you why. Because someone's been in contact and they're having it as is. Now, I think what needs to happen is I think it needs a new pigtail for the MAF sensor, because someone's been playing around with the wiring there, and possibly a new MAF sensor. Once that's been done, you'll be able to do a DPF regen, and I'm sure that once that's been done, you're going to have a cracking car. But like I say, the opportunity arose for someone to have it as it is. It's going to be a bit of a collaboration between me and some guys you know, and we're going to do something quite exciting. We're going to have a lot of good content that's going to come off the back of the deal I've done on this car, but I won't say too much now. I'll explain it later on. But yeah, out of all the units, I have to say the Topdon was the easiest one, because I did end up trying all of them. It was the easiest one to go into DPF regen, and it had the clearest instructions for it. I think, like I say, the parameter I was not meeting was the fact that, and a lot of people advised me since, that with the MAF sensor out, it would not allow you to. You can't do any kind of DPF regen with engine management codes in the car, so that needed to be resolved first. We have sold the Panda 4x4. I'll try and insert an image of it now, or a little video clip of it now, for those of you that haven't been on the channel before, because I know this is a bit of a vlog and the videos just seem to they carry on from each other. So if you're not regularly dipping into Chop's Garage, you might not know what I'm talking about. So just putting a little video of that now. So on the way home, the traditional drive home, test in the Panda 4x4. Now, obviously you've seen me drive one of these before, but that was the 1.3 diesel, and this of course is the 900cc twin air, which is the 2-cylinder. I believe the variable valve timing on this is run by solenoids with the sort of half-size multi-air unit on it. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody who's really in the know. But these have a little turbo on them, so 2-cylinder with a little turbo on them. And I absolutely love this engine. It's so much fun. It has, I think, almost 100% of its power down at 1500 RPM. So you're getting all of your torque and all of your performance really low down the rev range, which means they can feel surprisingly nippy off the line. Again, nippier than they look like they are on paper. So I really like it in the Fiat 500s, but I've not driven it in the Panda 4x4 yet. I mean, it's basically a mini Lancia Delta Integral, isn't it? Because you've got 4-wheel drive and you've got a turbocharged engine. Yeah, bit of a stretch, James. I like to let anything with a turbo on it warm up a little bit before you start ragging on it. But if we put our foot down again, boff, big wave of torque and we're away. It makes that fantastic thrummy little sound. And you know, I'm at 50 miles an hour there in 5th gear. I put my foot down and it wants to go. It's off. Off it goes, straight through to the natural speed limit. Exactly that. It always feels quite urgent and it wants to go, it wants to have fun. I was going to leave it there with this test drive, but this is just too much fun. I don't think I've had as much fun. I think, you see, it might be more fun than my MX-5 engined MGB. Honest to God, it is just such a lot of fun. I don't think I'd get anywhere near the MPG you can get in these, because I'd have too much fun riding that little torque curve and giving it the beans. And like I say, driving it like a little Integral or something. It feels proper quick, it really does. I know it probably isn't in reality, but what a lot of fun. Never tried a twin air, go and try one. If you're looking for a car, go and try one. If you're looking for something small, cheap to run, that you can have a lot of fun, it'll put a smile on your face, go and try a Fiat 500 or a Panda with a twin air in it. Like I said, if you can find the 105 brake horsepower, which is uber rare, even better. I think it's just a map, so you can get them mapped up to 105, I think, quite easily. But yeah, what a brilliant little car. Like I said, I don't think I've had as much fun for a while. I forgot how great these are. I'm just lucky to live in Devon, where we've got these little back lanes that I know like the back of my hand, that I can have these little fun runs in. I know it probably looks terrifying to a lot of you, but you get to know these lanes inside out and where you can nip along and where you can't. The trouble with all the sports stuff that has fun engines is it's too low to the ground, the tyres are too low profile, so you just end up crashing it about the place. The thing with this Panda 4x4, and it's specific to the area I live in, is that you can have fun like this, but if you hit potholes, if you hit bumps, if you find ruts, you've got that ground clearance, you've got that softer suspension to, and we're off again, to it'll soak it up. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. You take something like a Twingo RS along here and you'll be bouncing all over the place, crashing the suspension out, and you'll be thinking, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm going to damage it. Anyhow, you probably aren't having as much fun watching this as I am doing it, so I'll cut it there. We're in on a Sunday, something I'm trying to avoid more recently, spend a bit more time at home, because the winning bidder on the Toyota Camry is coming to pick it up today. So I've just moved it outside, given it a wash off to get rid of that, is it Arabian dust they're calling it, and put the battery on charge, make sure it's got a good old charge on it. So yeah, they had the winning bid of £1,510, coming back to drive it, forget where they're going to, quite a distance I think. So just doing a few last checks on it before it goes off. I'm sure that'll be a fantastic car for them. As I said before, we just need you all to comment on what you think we should raffle off next. You know, we've got quite an array of cars. We've got lots of sort of normal everyday stuff that we could offer. I even thought about offering a 2018 Citroen C1 I've got in here, which would be a good little run around for anyone really. And obviously it's a much newer car. Where is it? Over there in the corner there. So we've got the C1. We've got the Smart Roadster working again. It was exactly what Chris said it was. The crank sensor, and I'll try and insert a clip of us sorting it out now actually. We've got Chris, my extra emergency service in. He's put the crank sensor in the little Smart Barabbas, so we're about to find out if that's the problem. The old one did actually have scoring on the end of it, if you can see there. So we do think that's what the problem is. To do it, you have to move the throttle body and the pipe there, just because it sits right underneath it. Other than that, I think it was quite simple. Look at that. Chris's diagnosis was absolutely spot on. New crank sensor in, starts up immediately. What a pain in the bum. It wasn't an expensive part. It's taken him about 20 minutes to fit it, but we still have to disappoint that customer coming all the way from London. What a pain in the bum that is. But at least that's it, sorted, and we get it back up for sale. That might be quite a fun one to raffle off, the Smart Barabbas Roadster, because the subscriber was going to buy it, because it ended up taking about 3 weeks to do it when we were going on holiday. Actually ended up getting a different car. We've got the Renault Sport Twingo, the Silverstone 50/50. And then we've actually got coming back, I think we covered that one yet. We've actually got coming back the Jaguar, the 2005 3-litre V6 Jaguar that we've had all the work done. Again, a bit like the Camry, a bit overspent on it really down at Moores, getting absolutely everything done. It's going to have a fresh ticket on it. And that one is stupidly clean, isn't it? Only 50,000 miles. So that could be a good option as well. So yeah, comment down below what you'd be interested in doing. And because we need your buy-in, don't we? So yeah, we'll get another one underway soon. So we must update actually our board here, isn't it? Because that's another... Well, unfortunately, I do have to pay when I sell the cars. On the raffle, the stuff goes directly out to people, so it's not a problem. But if the people don't want the car and then I have to sell it via auction, unfortunately, that's income into the business. I have to pay tax on that. And as a sole trader, I cannot get tax relief on charity donations. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to allow for sort of 20% off the Camry. So it's about £1,300 that we're going to put towards the other charities. And I think what we're going to do on that is we're going to split it £700 and £700. So £700 more for the food bank, as discussed in earlier videos. Why do I keep doing that? And then we're going to go for the, what's it called? It is called K9 Focus. That's it. That's where Bella came from. K9 Focus. I put it to you guys and you're all happy for me to put some money towards that as well. So that then takes in total to £9,542.04. So we only need just over £500 on the next raffle to hit our £10,000 charity giving target. So that is just absolutely ace. Massive thanks to everyone involved. Now, it's not nice to have to do this, but I need to point out that you may see in some of the comments that there's some in my videos and saying that my raffles are a scam or something or other, because they actually emailed me and asked me to give them the Toyota Camry rather than do it highest bid, but the highest bids had already started. And that was on the basis of just giving him the car on the basis that he would do something for charity and raise more money than I would do, just making it highest offer. But I said, people have already put their offers in. I've already said this is where I'm going to do it, so I'm afraid I need to stand by that. I then got a message at the end of the auction, asked how much I'd sold it for, and I said it sold for £1,510, and I got a tirade. The first email was lovely. I'm a subscriber. I watch your channel all the time. I love what you do. What you do for the charities is great. What I had no idea if you give me the car, blah 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 blah. When I told him that it sold for £1,510 at the end, I've just got all these emails telling me I'm a scammer or something like that, and I've just pocketed the cash from that car. Honestly, I'm gonna be polite and say that they've obviously got something going on with them, and I don't quite understand how all this is working. So, but yeah, they're making some pretty serious threats and formed a fake account on YouTube. They obviously were a subscriber, so if they wanted to make these comments, they could have made them with their genuine account. But they formed one last night. You can see the age of a YouTube account, and started making all these comments. They've added up all of the total revenue so far from all the raffles we've done and said that I've pocketed all the cash from it. But we've got emails from the Grand Appeal. We've got the guys from, what was the other one? Oh, sorry, the Grand Appeal emailed me the other day and said this had hit their bank account and they didn't know anything about it, but it was fantastic. They can send across a certificate. Obviously, we've got emails from North Devon Hospice to confirm they've got, you saw us give the money to the girls. So I don't think any of you think it's under question where this is all going. But unfortunately, there are these kind of people out there. Anyway, I just thought in case anybody see the comments, I'll see what it's about. He's threatening to show emails and all sorts, but obviously if that happens, I'm more than happy to share with you guys the emails that have come where he's basically asking me to give him the car for free, and how it basically turned on me as soon as I didn't agree to do that. But obviously, like I say, I'm just going to be even more charitable and say that they've obviously got stuff going on with them that isn't quite right, and for the moment I'll leave it as it is. But if I have to defend myself, I will do. I will do, because I've got it all there in black and white. Anyway, let's not dwell on any negatives with that at all. We have got a small raffle going on at the moment just to help the home built guys. I've put it out on Instagram. Is to help the home built guys. This may well actually take us to our target. It's to help them. They are doing a charity. They're doing a charity raffle, and they're raising money for the blind veterans. Actually, I've got the link I've got a little video I put out on other social media channels. I'll insert that now so you know what I'm on about. So everyone, we're having a little mini raffle to support the home built guys and their money raising efforts for the Blind Veterans Foundation. So that is the foundation that, well, let me get it on screen and show. So this is it, the Blind Veterans UK. They help vision-impaired ex-servicemen and women rebuild their lives after sight loss. So what a fantastic charity to support. The guys are doing a charity rally with them. I'll put a link through to that as well. But obviously they're trying to raise as much money for the charity as they can during that process. So hi guys, we've got some stuff left over from our generous sponsors. One including the guys at Launch who sent us across a few C-Reader professionals. So I've said I'm more than happy to raffle that off. 100% of the proceeds will go to the Blind Veterans charity. So we're going to put this up at just 50p a ticket. It's going to be a short and quick raffle because the a rally, I believe it is at the end of the month, I think, if I remember rightly. But I say I'll put a link into the description down below on that. But yeah, we'll get that started straight away, and hopefully we can help those guys raise as much cash as possible. I put the shout out to the sponsors, and look what we've got ready for the next one as well, or to split between the next few ones. We've got 1200 jump pack from Top Don. We've got a King Bolan Smart Scanner tool. We've got another Top Don. That's the S500, is it, I think? Or something like that. That's the battery tester and diagnostic machine in one. GT Shine has sent me a load more GT Shine and some drying towels. I really, really rate this stuff, by the way. Top Don have sent me a couple of their new small top scanners. They're the little ones, so you have the app on your phone. King Bolan has sent me some of theirs as well. We've got the brake fluid tester. We've got the 2 launch kits. So as I said, what we've done before is when these companies contact, they say how much for the ad. And what I'm saying to them is that don't give me any money. Just send me multiples of the product so that we can support the charity raffles. So that seems to be working really well. And I think it's, I think it's a really good idea. I think all of these companies, it shows fantastic spirit. They're getting involved like that. Absolutely brilliant. Now we have sold the CRV that our subscriber part exchanged in against the Panda 4x4. That sold even before I had a chance to advertise it. A lady actually came the day before he was due to pick up the Panda and said, I need an auto that I can get my dogs in. And I said, oh, I might have just the thing coming in for you. And she said, when can I come and have a look at it? So she came in the day after. I didn't even wash it because it was super clean already, and I'd only driven it home and back. Drives brilliantly. I have to say to our subscriber, he's obviously looked after it really well. You would not believe it was a 2011. There was nothing in the suspension at all that gave you any indication this had done sort of 30,000 miles. Gear change is smooth, just absolutely lovely to drive. Doing 37 to the gallon, which for a big auto, don't think it's bad either. So yeah, the lady came along, and there is a nice bit of a story behind it as well, in as much as unfortunately our subscriber had to give it up to get a smaller car to allow his wife to have a smaller car because he's got some health problems. That means he might not be driving soon. And the lady that came to buy this car is getting this car because unfortunately she's just lost her husband, and her car broke at exactly the same time, so she was in a real pickle. And she said she hopped in this car, took it for a test drive because I did let her go on her own with her mother-in-law because I choose as and when I deem that appropriate. And the song came on the radio that was her husband's favourite song, so she thinks the car is fate. And I guess the thing with it is if you bear in mind the circumstances under which I've got the car and the circumstances of where it's going to, whether you believe in that kind of thing or not, it does seem like it's definitely going to the right home. So we just got to nip it down and get an MOT done for it. Now, interestingly, she asked the Motorworks guys if they knew of me when she was coming to look at the car, because they do the servicing and work on her cars. And the guys down there, who are fantastic, and I'd use them a hell of a lot more, but they're absolutely booked out for like 4 weeks. Because they're very sensible and they don't allow you just to drop stuff off. You've got to be booked in. But I'm not surprised they're booked out because they're fantastic lads. And they said no, he drops stuff in and whatever it needs to be done gets done. And they said it wouldn't be a problem buying from me. So I did try and book in with an MOT with this car, so they had a chance to look over it and give her confidence that it was all good to go. But unfortunately, again, she needs it straight away, and they're 3 weeks out. But yeah, massive thanks to those guys as always. And yeah, so I think it's going to the right home. But yeah, what I found, I even got Mrs. Chops to come out and have a little sit in it and a drive on it when I brought it home, because obviously we got the new dog, which is quite big, and the little Jeep is possibly too small, and she loved it. And then I remembered that I actually had someone come to look at the following day, and actually no, even if you like it, you can't have it because someone's going to look at it tomorrow, which she was well chuffed about. The Corsa has sold. Now that one's a bit of a lesson for me, that one. That's taken a while to sell, and it's the low mileage thing again. I think the low mileage on mundane cars isn't really the sort of golden ticket that you might think it was. This one's stuck around for a while. It's only got 28,000 miles on it. Auto Trader says it was worth over 7 grand. I didn't have any sniffs at like 6,995 at all. Had to lower the price down to like 6.5 to start to get sniffs, and even then it took a while for the calls to come in. So yeah, I think the thing is, like I say, if someone's got the choice of going from maybe a 2013, 2014 with say maybe 60 to 80,000 miles on it, it's a newer shape, all that kind of thing, I think they may well go for it. Or go for a 2011 with maybe 80,000 miles and save themselves, a grand or more. I think that's probably where people are with it. I knew the right buyer would come along sooner or later. A lady came along with her son-in-law, and she really wanted a super low mileage one because her one with 80,000 on has just done its head gasket, and she's got an automatic 2057 plate with 80,000 miles on. It's just done its head gasket, which I daftly actually have taken in part exchange, and I know I'm going to get lots of grief for that when I've got so many cars to be getting on with already. But small autos are in such demand. My inbox is full of people wanting cheaper small autos. I did a deal with them price wise, which leaves me plenty of margin to get the work done and still make money on the car. And I'll be able to offer a small auto under 5k, and they were listing everything they've done to it over the last few years, and they just seem like the people that would spend money looking after a car as well. So obviously I've got an opportunity to back out when they bring the car down. He's actually trailering it to me as well. That was the other bonus. He actually has a business building AC Cobra replicas. So no, we were just chatting forever and a day. Poor mother-in-law, she had to wait for ages. So that has gone. That's good. That's freed up some cash. And again, I think unfortunately, if someone offers me a super low mileage, sort of more mundane run-of-the-mill car in the future, I'm going to have to make my own judgments rather than use the algorithms, because like I say, the Auto Trader is just an algorithm. It doesn't allow for human nature, that kind of thing. The Panda was a different thing. That was a special edition. It was a 4x4, had the 17,000 miles on it. They've always sold super quickly, but just because there aren't any of them about. But I think, yeah, something like a Vauxhall Corsa automatic, which you can get plenty of, I think we've got to be a bit more careful on.